What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 114 of the Chumpcast. We got a little spooky this week with our old friend Denis. He brought his affection for old school horror to our review of the newest Halloween sequel starring Jamie Lee Curtis. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough message, you might hear your voice on a future episode. If you'd like to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go turn off all the lights and stupidly check on that noise coming from my creepy basement because I'm a big dumb idiot from every horror movie ever.
1 hour.
1 hour of mediocre content.
That's the Chumpcast. Welcome to the Chumpcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's the question. Fuck, marry, kill the Hocus Pocus witches.
All right, let's do this.
Now, I feel that there's a very obvious order to this.
And you're completely wrong.
Can we all agree on at least one?
I don't think so. Well, let's try, though.
You don't fuck Sarah Jessica Parker?
No, we all.
I don't know.
We're all on the same page.
I might marry her.
Why?
Because I don't know if I want to marry the dumb one, because I'm definitely not marrying the lead witch, whatever her name is.
Bette Midler.
Yes.
You got to marry Bette Midler.
I'm killing her.
I'm actually with Mark on that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill Bette Midler. I'd fuck Bette Midler because she's probably a freak in the sheets. She's the head witch. She's doing some nasty ass voodoo shit up in there. And then I'm going to marry Sarah Jessica Parker because then you got the multiple bangs.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
She's got better looks.
If you marry the fat one that's like a sweetheart, you have to fuck her all the time.
Yeah, or you just don't fuck her.
You just fuck her once, get it over with, and marry Sarah Jess.
Or you get bad genes from it too. You get the fat bad genes.
See, I think you kill the stupid one. And I think you marry Bette Midler because she's the only one that knows how to do actual magic. And she can help you live forever.
I don't know if I want to live forever, though.
No one wants to live forever.
Can't all three of them do that, though?
But then she could just turn you into a cat if you piss her off or some shit, you know?
We'll keep her happy.
That's not a fun thing to do.
Yeah. That's
all I know.
Why are you single again?
All I know is, yeah, good point. Smithers, if he had to live until the end of eternity, he would turn into the biggest grump of the world ever.
Turn into?
Yeah,
you would
you're
just
already
look like a
king grump. You would just be the grumpiest person I've ever.
I kind of lost my shit at you yesterday because you kept asking me the same question.
Yeah, where are the notes?
Sorry about that, by the way. But also, fuck you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm ready to be prepared for this episode, which I never am. And you're like, how about you fuck off for a minute? I was like, all right, man.
I don't think that's exactly what I said, but
in lesser
it's definitely
words,
what I meant.
In lesser words, yeah, it is.
I've been traveling for the last 2 fucking weeks. I finally got home, and you're like, where's the notes? Where's the notes for this show that I'm probably not going to read anyway?
I said, where's the notes once?
And
you said it
just
twice.
Gaming Call of Duty, just
I
like,
said,
where are the notes at?
Do we have notes that I'm not going to look at either way? Just make them, just so I have the thought that they're there.
We're talking about show notes, Dennis. And then we also have someone new on the
Dennis
episode.
has the show notes.
Does he?
Oh, yeah, my bad for asking for those, by the way.
You only asked once.
Don't ask twice. It's the end of the world.
So those of you longtime listeners will recognize Dennis's voice from the Justice League episode.
Wow, you went in the archives for that.
I just remember stuff.
Yeah, I don't. That was what, a year ago?
Year and a half?
Damn, that came out a while ago.
It was a long time.
I still haven't rewatched it. Like fully, I haven't rewatched it.
It's always on HBO.
I know, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this.
Sweet fandom.
So fucking terrible.
There's other shit we're
all
watching.
Completely changed our tune on that movie because at the time we were like, it was kind of fun.
Well, it's like the same thing with Wonder Woman. That was not a bad movie. I haven't rewatched that movie since it came out.
I actually liked Wonder Woman, but you're right. I haven't gone back to rewatch it.
I loved Wonder Woman, and I have not watched it either.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
There we go.
But I was thinking about it. Who is like your favorite actor or actress in like the new era of like, I guess the 2010s to now or 2000s to now? Is 2000s too early?
It's a hard question.
I'm like leaning towards Chris Pine. Like I was looking at a couple of his movies. Dude, Captain Kirk, he was a badass. Hell or High Water's awesome. He was awesome in Wonder Woman. He's coming out with a new show where he's like some sort of knight. I don't know. But I'm leaning towards Chris Pine as my top tier guy. He's overtaken Leo because Leo hasn't done shit lately.
That's not happening.
It's got to be somebody more prolific than Chris Pine, right? Like,
no, but this is me personally. I just like his roles. Maybe I identify with his roles as being a badass.
Right, but
and Wonder Woman's Love or whatever. I don't know.
You just named 4 movies that Chris Pine is in. Like somebody has been in more than 4 movies that you like.
He's in that wine tasting movie about Napa Valley.
He was also in Horrible Bosses too.
He was actually pretty funny in that movie.
Yeah. He was like the boss's son who was a piece of shit, and then he's the one who they capture.
Wait, is Brick
I
onto
never saw the
something? Is
second
Chris
one.
Pine legitimately one of the best actors out right now?
He's really good.
He's the man.
He plays the same role in like every film now.
What, super charming and handsome? How
Yeah.
dare he?
It's like,
I need him to be ugly and stupid.
And lame.
I don't know. Who's in everything now? The Rock?
Tom Cruise.
It's The Rock. The
No,
answer
Rock
is The Rock.
isn't a good fucking actor. That's so lame. He's okay.
I will fight you. He's an amazing actor.
yeah, he's very good.
I like him a lot.
I love The Rock. But who else would be in it? Who else would be in this like echelon of people you think are top tier actors?
The Rock.
Does Chris Pratt is he?
No.
Scratch
He hasn't
that.
been in enough.
Well,
No, he's not.
Chris Pratt's running 2 franchises. Chris Pine's running 2 franchises.
But one
Who
of
else
Chris
is
Pratt's franchises sucks.
Tom Cruise.
He's
Mission
falling.
Impossible.
Like
He almost started another franchise. and
he
that
was doing the
went to
monster
shit.
movie franchise.
Yo,
whatever.
Tom
Which
Cruise-
died immediately.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was 90s to early 2000s.
He started in the 80s.
80s to early, fine, 80s to 2000s. He was like King Cruise.
King Cruise.
I like that nickname.
So
King
I
Cruise.
actually, it rolls off the tongue.
Is it better
You
than?
said I was bad at giving nicknames last week.
You usually are.
No,
I don't know if it's better than TC. TC just flows.
TC is a banger. That's true.
Yeah, I can't think of an actor that's been in more stuff that was actually kind of good than The Rock.
Well, every
can
movie
only
that he
think of The
makes,
Rock.
even if it's garbage, just because it's The Rock, he like elevates the movie to like B status.
Yeah.
His charisma will carry an entire movie.
I mean, I didn't see Rampage or Skyscraper.
Oh my God.
We saw
Those both look fucking terrible.
Rampage was better than Skyscraper, but it was still.
It was. Skyscraper's the one we did for 100, isn't it?
Let's just say The Rock rides a helicopter down the side of the falling Sears Tower in Rampage. The Sears Tower is tipping over and
Oh,
falling.
it's in
And-
Chicago.
yeah, and he just rides a helicopter down the side of it.
Maybe that's why we like that movie better, because
Yeah.
we recognized, like, oh, look, there's Whacker Drive.
Yeah, they're just fucking Whacker Drive up in that movie. It's pretty sweet.
Okay, so were we done with the fuck, marry, kill thing? Because I still disagree with all of you.
You lose.
You can't lose. I would
You
like
lose.
to hear the rationale from the listeners. Mark, I can't wait for you to make this Instagram post and for Kelly to immediately come into your room and just like slap you like, what the fuck?
She'll be like, but you're wrong.
She'll be like, I agree with Smithers.
Yeah. It's a good question, though. Come on.
All right, our listener submissions from last week. So Brick made us do another draft because that's what Brick does.
Draft King.
That's a terrible nickname.
That's a draft. That was bad. That was bad.
Does DraftKings even exist anymore?
It does, I
Whatever.
think. I think they all merged.
Into what? Draft universe?
Draft Monopoly.
Sure. Anyways, we asked everyone to build the perfect movie monster based on body parts of other monsters. Now that I say this out loud and I just have to describe it from memory, it sounds really dumb.
No, people did exactly what I wanted them to do and not actually pick monsters, but they picked like their like in-laws and shit. It was actually good answers all around.
We're
They
just
picked-
hold on. We're laughing at the Instagram post, dude.
So bad.
That Chucky with Pennywise's body and fucking Freddy Krueger's hands is so stupid looking.
It
Dude.
looks like a goober.
Brick, did you Photoshop that?
1,000,000% in 1 minute.
Photoshop
too.
is
I did
way
it
too
in
kind to whatever that is.
I did it in
I was
1
gonna
minute.
say, I think he did a killer shit.
Yeah, with the
Thank
the
you.
spooky haunted house in the background.
It took me 1 minute to do all of that. It was great.
Nice job.
That might be the best thing that comes out of this conversation.
I agree.
It might be the one thing that Eddie Smith taught you.
Yeah, as a student of his, a pupil, if you will.
Shout out, Teach.
Social media strategist.
All right, Dennis, as our guest, I'm going to give you a chance to pick the body, the head, and the weapon for Halloween monster.
Maybe
So
we should. I think you should go last so we can get a little
Yeah.
time to think about it.
I'm telling him now, so he has time to think about it. and
Thank
then
you,
come back
Brick.
to him.
You were informing.
Thanks for telling us what you're
You
gonna
seemed
do.
like you were going to give him the reins right away, so I thought I'd jump in.
I've
I
never.
agree with you, bro.
Fuck you, Ryan. Shut the fuck up. Let's go.
I've
You
actually-
start out. You started out.
I've
You
never
started
hosted-
out.
I've never.
You
hosted-
started out.
I've never hosted a podcast before, so
How about you started out?
I can just turn your mic off.
I know. And then I'll just yell, and then everybody's mic's going to get fucked up.
You can't.
And you
That's
got to
just
have a
every
fun
other
job
episode.
editing.
Brick, you cannot use the one you created. It's just too stupid. You have to rethink of one.
No, I just put it. I couldn't. I put together like just things that no one would answer.
Okay.
That's why because I didn't want to do what you do with your posts and just like put, oh, here's 10 answers that everyone thinks are going to be
Is he gonna
super
use?
easy. I just threw in the
So
worst.
you just made the dumbest one.
I made the dumbest one I could think of. Yeah.
Arturo Trafny says 3 xenomorph heads. So like Cerberus, but it's a xenomorph.
What the hell's a xenomorph?
From Alien?
Xenomorph.
Oh, okay.
Really? He doesn't know Xenomorph, but he would know Xenomorph?
You know Xenomorph.
I know Xenomorph, obviously.
You're so full of shit.
Say it right, man.
Yo, pronounce your words.
It's like when he was saying
Pronounce your words.
Morales.
And the weapon is, fuck, I will throw this fucking table at you.
All right, keep going. Sorry. All right.
He is Hispanic. It is Morales.
You know, you were like Morales.
You said Morales.
I watched that episode and I was dying.
You said it like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know what? Going forward, I'm going to call out everything that you say wrong, and we're just never going to get anywhere.
We'll never get anywhere.
Never.
Yep. Next.
Go on with the answers.
He's talking about a xenomorph with 3 heads. Okay, fuck you.
Lame. Next.
What's the the body is a xenomorph? What's the weapon?
The face huggers. He just throws face huggers at
Okay.
you.
Dees, but you're using 2 of the same creature.
Where do you
All
think
of them.
face huggers come from? That's 3 of the same creature.
You just made Alien.
Yeah, it's just alien. It's
Oh yeah,
alien with an alien
so the
gun.
body is xenomorph. The head is 3
3 xenomorphs.
Okay.
So technically, it's
all
not
right,
the same.
all right.
thing.
I didn't know the body was still xenomorph. Okay. Yeah.
Now that you say Xenomorph, I get it. It makes
Okay.
sense. Okay.
Cool.
All right, Colin, Reverend Rogue 10 says, clown head, so Pennywise. I think he might have just repeated whatever you had. Oh, Bane's body. I don't know if that's a horror character,
No.
That- Still, I don't think there's
but
a lot.
Mark's still horny for it because it's Bane.
That'd be scary though. If you saw a clown face with Bane's body, who's super mega jacked,
Are we talking about Tom Hardy or the old school
old school cartoon probably. I'll speak for Colin.
and Rusty Shiv, which isn't a good weapon, but is really fun to say.
Rusty Shiv. Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Why are you saying that weird?
I said it normal. I said it exactly how you said it.
What?
Yep. Now you're calling me the wow. Never mind. Just go. Just
Yep,
go.
I win. James Bond, who everybody knows is Brick at this point, one of Brick's 7 personalities, Mark's bald head, Ryan's dad body, because apparently I have a dad body now, which is like you calling me short.
That joke fell flat. Next. And then I tried to get people off the case.
You tried to get people to think that it wasn't you writing this, and
Yeah.
you said Brick's stupidity.
is the weapon. Yeah. That'll get people killed.
How many Instagram names do you have? Didn't you max out the number of logins you had on your phone?
Yeah, Mr. Bricketto, MR Bricketto, that's my original. How you doing? Games Dean, Games Bond, LeBron Games, Game Shark.
Game Shark. Fuck.
Yeah, and then that was it. Yeah, that's it.
Did you not ever do Game Genie? You should have.
No, what's Game Genie?
You don't know what a Game Genie is?
No, is that the same thing as a Game Shark? It like gave you all the codes and shit?
But it was before Game Shark.
Okay,
It was the original Game Shark.
Such a nerd.
Dude, I was such a rat when I had one of those. Just
obviously.
level all my fuckers up to 100.
Can you
got
imagine
it.
having that now when you're playing online? That'd be so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody invent that.
All those gaming cheating websites just went under. They had to have like cheatcc.com to go
Oh, yeah,
look
I
up all the
remember that
cheats.
one.
Now it's
to,
all
like,
walkthroughs and stuff.
It was all Grand Theft Auto cheats where you instantly just have a helicopter or
That-
you have
You
a
have to
bazooka.
do like up, down, left,
yeah,
right.
it was always left, right, circle, circle, circle.
So for somebody that suffers from
Bazooka.
dyslexia, those are really difficult to do.
God damn it. You make your mom come in and do them for you. You're like, thanks, Mom. Thanks for the bazooka.
I love you, man.
All right, let's get into the funnier ones. Taster99, my friend Travis says, Kathy Bates, all of her. So Kathy Bates, a lot of people hate. I remember her from The Waterboy.
Oh.
She was awesome in that movie. I mean, she's a terrible bitch of a mother,
True.
but it's an awesome character.
I agree. And also, I was going to bring this up for best.
I don't know what
person
movie
alive.
that's from. She's kind of scary, though.
That's that Stephen King. What's that Stephen King movie?
Misery?
Misery, yeah.
Misery.
So just Kathy Bates. Makes sense.
Okay.
I never saw that one.
That movie's fucked up. She like kidnaps her like favorite like writer and then has him like chained to a bed.
Makes him write a book for her.
Oh.
Really?
Is that just Stephen King's like dark fantasy? Is that like
I just guessed it. I just guessed the plot.
Whoa.
Well, that's
Yeah,
just
I'm
lazy 80s writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Write
that's-
me a fucking book.
That's Stephen King ripping cigs and doing blow.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
How long till they remake this movie?
I don't know.
Who replaces Kathy Bates? It's going to be what's her face from the Puppet Murders.
Yeah. Happy Time Murders.
oh my God, Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking that.
Yeah.
God damn it. Now that we've spoken that into existence, it's definitely going to happen.
Might happen now.
Too much into the ether.
It's going to be
there.
announced tomorrow. Reboot.
Fuck me. All right. WSBH narrator says the head would be my father-in-law, the body would be my mother-in-law, and the weapon is them in my presence. My in-laws would be the perfect monster.
Oh, man.
All right, Dennis, you had time to think about it.
All right, so you got the Asian girl from The Grudge's body.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just
You
tiny.
got 80s Pennywise, not the reboot, as the head.
Okay.
And then you got as the weapon, the vagina from Teeth.
Oh God. See,
So don't go shaking his hand.
wow. Okay, but wouldn't he need to be physically attractive for that thing to work?
Well, I actually haven't seen the movie. I just looked up. Fucked up.
Yeah, I just assumed it would. Like,
Nobody said
who's gonna bang a fucking clown who looks like who's your body? Oh, like well, she's got the body of an Asian woman, tiny.
Wow.
I'll whatever.
Rick immediately with the diddler references.
She was just. I never seen the.
She
Grudge.
was a little girl
Oh, was she?
in The Grudge.
I never saw it. He just said an Asian woman. That's why.
Yeah, the Asian villain from The Grudge.
She's like a little girl.
Is she?
You diddler ass.
Let's not throw the diddler word around. I didn't know. I thought it was just an Asian woman. Asian women are hot, not children, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure
Way
she's
to
like
generalize.
possessed and like dead
It's like
and covered in
the
like
girl from The
black
Ring.
slime.
I'm just trying to give your weapon some legitimacy. But
I appreciate the background.
yeah, no, but
Yes,
yeah,
the legitimacy.
legitimacy.
I also don't know how the vagina teeth thing works. But
It's
I would
like
assume-
a Venus flytrap.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, that makes sense. It snaps out at you.
I feel like it's a useful weapon.
Why didn't anybody say chainsaw? Chainsaws are so prevalent in horror movies.
Boom, 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 boom. They're a little heavy.
So are you gonna go ahead with yours? Chainsaw is
That's
the
it.
weapon.
Chainsaw. Chainsaw head, chainsaw body, chainsaw.
Okay.
See, I think actually the body for Pennywise is actually pretty good because he can change into
Skaz.
he can change into anything.
You guys all have.
He changes into any sort of thing that you're super afraid of.
I want to see Chucky, like that tiny body, with the leprechaun's head carrying a chainsaw, just because he's like falling over everywhere.
I want to see Jigsaw's body on the tricycle with the Scream mask on, holding Jeepers Creepers' fucking ultimate killer axe that he
Why
always
do you
just
love
has.
Jeepers
You
Creepers
love
so much?
Jeepers
I
Creepers.
love Jeepers Creepers.
Have you seen the third one?
No, we
I
made him
have.
watch it and
I
review
have.
it as a
Brilliant.
punishment.
By the
You guys
way,
are still hazing?
Yeah.
you still haven't
Pretty
watched
much.
Hurricane Heist.
Yeah, I need to watch that too.
Speaking of, yeah.
I might
That's-
watch it tonight.
Oh.
That's for a bet that came from the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? I thought that was for the McGregor bet that he definitely made.
No, he paid me for that.
Oh,
So he
okay.
paid that one. That was actual cash.
Okay, good.
There was cash money, dude. All right. Yes, I'll watch fucking Hurricane Heist
You're
one day.
goddamn right you will.
Okay. By the end of this month, I'll have watched
No, I
it.
think you need to now since you've delayed it so much, you need to watch it and write a review about
No.
it and post it on. Yes,
I think you need to leave and go watch it right now.
No, you made me review that fucking Emoji movie.
I didn't make you do
Oh.
anything. You suck at making bets and you keep fucking losing.
Or the Paddington the Bear. That actually wasn't a bad punishment for losing a bet, is watching Paddington the Bear.
Why are you blaming this on me?
It still has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's not like I'm forcing you into betting with
I'm
me.
not going to change ratings either. But go ahead.
All right. Stop yelling at yourself.
I'm yelling at you.
Are we done with this question?
Yes.
All right.
Next.
What are we drafting next week,
What a
Greg?
dumb
Yeah.
question.
What's
Who
the
even
next-
thought of that question?
Let's draft questions that would be better than this one.
Hold on. Why don't we talk about my question that I kind of just threw on Instagram?
Fine.
It's very general. So what's your favorite Halloween/horror movie?
Tremors.
The reason I said Halloween movie, because I wanted people to be able to say like Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, Nightmare Before Christmas. Would you consider that a Halloween movie?
It's both.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, is that a
Those are
Halloween
Christmas
movie?
movies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. You ever
They
seen
don't ever talk about Halloween.
You ever seen Phantom? Is it Phantom at the Megaplex?
Yes.
The Disney Channel movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hilarious.
Badass.
They had Mickey. Who's that old guy they had in it? That
Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rooney.
No.
Yeah,
Was it Mickey
Yeah, I
Rooney?
think it was Mickey
Yeah, it was
Rooney.
Mickey Rooney was in that movie. Alley Cat Strike. There's so many great low-key Disney movies that aren't low-key. They're actually just amazing.
Kids nowadays are so robbed
Yeah.
with film.
They didn't have Brink.
I think my buddy Mike mentioned on Facebook probably my nominee, which was Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's a good
It's a
one.
classic.
That is a
Yeah.
good one.
I
will
wish he
give
was
you
still
that one.
alive.
Yeah.
That makes me sad every time I think about it. He could still be making B movies today, except they
Ernest
just go
died.
years ago. He smoked like a pack a day.
I'm sorry for your loss, Dennis.
That's why he has that voice.
Damn.
Did I just ruin your day?
I honestly did
Kind
not
of.
know that.
Why do you think they haven't made an Ernest movie in 20 years?
Yeah, just pour one out for on this carpet.
All right, this is for Ernest.
They're moving on.
Ernest
You can
P.
just-
Quarrel.
All right, let's run through these real quick. So your favorite Halloween / horror movie. We Shouldn't Be Here YouTube channel, which I definitely recommend, says Signs, bro. Signs. I actually really enjoyed Signs.
I did at the time. I don't know that it would hold up.
Yeah.
The first time you see it in the theater and you see that alien walk through the fence, you're like, oh, fuck, that's creepy.
Dude, I sharted when I saw that.
Or the alien fingers under the door when he slices them off. Oh, man.
But do you think, now that you know that that's coming, it's like a Wonder Woman where I never went back to rewatch it.
Oh, I always watched it. It was like on TNT for years.
If it's on TV, it still creeps me out.
Yeah.
But you want to know what ruined that movie for me? Is Scary Movie 3.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's
I completely. Who was the actor in that played? Not
Charlie Sheen, and
he played Joaquin Phoenix.
The white rapper.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
Whatever happened to him? He was huge when Vine was a thing. He had a funny ass Vine.
He's the reason I started vining.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, shout out Sam Martell, he bumped into him at Lollapalooza.
Really?
And he was in a porta potty just doing cocaine by himself. I don't know if you're
Simon Rex.
Yes, Simon Rex. All right, that guy.
He was doing coke in a porta potty at Lolla and just walked down and goes, ah!
Just like in his vines is what he would always do.
He was just walking around just talking to like whoever. It was
just by himself.
Yeah, I had
No
like
friends.
10 Snapchats of my buddy just hanging out with Simon Rex at Lolla.
It got to the point where he's like, oh, it's so cool meeting him. But then he was just like, all right, can you get away from me?
Yeah.
I don't ever want to hear another story about him because nothing's going to top that.
All right. 67 Mr. Key said The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I gotta agree with him on that one.
That is a good Halloween.
It's a solid flick.
Reverend Rogue 10, shout out to Colin, said Nightmare Before Christmas as well.
Wow, I'm glad you read both of those separately.
All right. Andy Lavelle said Trick or Treat is the GOAT. What's Trick or Treat?
It's a more recent film that I think Blumhouse made. That's all I know about it.
You haven't watched it?
I have not.
It must not be the GOAT then, Andy. Sorry.
Maybe it is. Maybe you're just not giving credit.
Possibly. The Others, Franz Gombe says.
Well,
When that family has a house in the woods and there's
with the masks.
These creepy people watching them from the trees and shit and come in and just torture them.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I said Dolly Dearest. I had to show you the trailer for that today. 91 film. It was, I guess Chucky probably copied their whole
No.
thing they were doing with that.
They copied Chucky.
All right, whatever. It's still
Child's Play came out like 8 years before that movie did.
It's still a great movie. You should check out the trailer on YouTube. Dreams 2114. John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. Never have seen that. How about you?
Wow. Yeah, it's one of the best, not just one of the best horror movies, but one of the best thrillers, I think, of all time.
I'm guilty. I have not seen it.
You absolutely should. If you have to pick one movie to watch this Halloween season, it should be The Thing.
Didn't he remake
False.
Yes.
The Thing too?
Yes. And it wasn't very good.
How do you remake your own movie? It's a little bizarre.
It's kind of weak.
Yeah. Watch the original, though.
If you haven't seen this movie, The Cabin in the Woods, that movie is amazing.
It's excellent. It's one of my favorite quote unquote horror movies ever, just because it's satire of horror.
And
Exactly.
It's still scary.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is. But the ending just goes, it takes you for a total loop. You do not see it coming whatsoever. It's
That's
really
the brilliance
out there
in
and
it.
crazy.
I think that's why it's my pick for favorite Halloween / horror movie.
Vilecash Gaming says The Grudge. Are you a Grudge fan, Dennis? I mean, you used them in your monster creation. Or you just thought of that?
I just thought of something super creepy, and there's nothing creepier than an Asian girl crawling.
An Asian girl.
Upside
But
down.
no, I absolutely hated those movies.
Are they done making those?
No, they're never done making any of those.
Who was in
The Grudge 19.
series?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Buffy Smoke Show.
Fact.
Dennis, you commented and you said Halloween 78.
That's the
The
original.
OG.
The OG right there. Never seen that either.
So this was the direct
I don't think I've
sequel,
ever seen it.
right? That
Actually,
we
I
watched
probably
today?
have.
We will talk about that because it's very convoluted.
Okay, cool. That's why I asked.
Yes.
That's just said. I'm not going to say anything on air, but that's really fucked up. Yeah, it is kind of fucked up.
Have you never
just call them
seen
out.
the
This is-
original?
No,
this is a
I think-
movie podcast.
I think I've seen it on AMC. I'm
No,
pretty
you
sure
haven't.
I've seen it.
Don't backtrack.
I don't know.
The only Halloween movies they ever air on AMC is Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and
Friday
then
the
a
13th.
sprinkle of H2O.
Halloween 2, though, came out shortly after Halloween 1. Wasn't it
81,
like
yeah.
81, 80? Okay.
Rick Rosenthal. Wasn't even Carpenter that directed that one.
None of those were any good.
Halloween 2, I'm glad that I don't want to jump into that segment quite yet, but it was freaky as fuck. Like the whole no one's in the hospital. She's by herself, I thought it was a really good setting for a horror movie.
Yes, it
A
was.
hospital is a
one.
great horror setting.
And it was the
everything's
first movie that really did it.
sterile.
When you
And
think
A lot
about
of
it.
tools to killing
yeah.
just everywhere.
Everyone else in that character but Laurie and Dr. Loomis, expendable, like any other movie, but awesome sequel.
What's the best setting for a horror film?
Probably like an old sawmill or a warehouse.
The woods.
The woods. Yeah.
The woods.
Any Texas Chainsaw movie that I see, or even like, what's that one? I'm blanking. Where everyone's like inbred and they're all like the mountains.
Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes, yeah. Any
like
of
a
those two types of settings.
I think
gone.
it honestly just comes down to Wisconsin as being.
I was gonna say
No,
cornfields.
that's way too real.
Seriously,
Way
just
too
like
real.
one house on 52 acres of land, and there's behind some woods and shit.
And cornfields. Cornfields are creepy
Hobby.
as fuck too.
Too real, man.
Jeepers Creepers.
Too real.
God damn it.
I still have to see the third one.
All right, we
Don't have to see the third one.
got a couple more. We have Mike Burling says Hocus Pocus and Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is an excellent
Shaun of the
Yes,
Dead is
that's a
so
great movie.
good.
It's
Forgot
on
about that.
Hulu right now. If you've never seen it, it is Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. It's amazing. It's a masterpiece.
Very much agree with you. Watch Alike says Nightmare on Elm Street. Had nightmares until I was 13 years old.
I think a lot of this has to do with when you were born, but those never really did it for me. I was always bigger into either Friday the 13th or Halloween or Ernest.
Rest in peace.
Definitely Ernest. Jim Varney, that's his name. I'm struggling to think. Jim Varney played Ernest. And now that I'm thinking about it, my favorite horror genre movie ever, Army of Darkness, the third one, where it goes super campy.
Oh, I know Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness.
Those are
is-
those skeletons with all armor and shit. They're fighting at
Right, but it's
in the castles.
Bruce
and shit.
Campbell and
Bruce
it's being
Campbell.
super cheesy.
Yes, I remember those.
I'm
Movies.
still pissed they canceled that show on Stars.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that any good?
It was really good. It was
Okay.
Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you can catch the reruns out there, do it because it's pretty good. Bruce Campbell, like speaking of charisma with The Rock, Bruce Campbell has a lot of fucking charisma.
All of his cameos in Raimi's Spider-Man movies, hilarious.
I could watch him do anything. Remember when he did those Old Spice commercials where he was playing the piano?
Yep.
That was awesome.
Stud.
What's
Right.
your favorite Halloween movie, Brick? Horror movie, Halloween movie.
I already said Cabin in the Woods. But Hereditary and It were fucking bomb too. For
That's
horror
recency
movie.
bias.
Yeah, no, I agree. But they were both really good, in my opinion.
Real talk, was Hereditary really fucked up? Because I want to rent it on demand,
Super disturbing.
but I'm actually scared to.
It's worth a watch.
It just
Yeah,
makes you feel disturbed and uncomfortable. It's not like jump scares. It's just, oh my God, I'm going to throw
horror.
up.
You're just
Yeah.
like, oh fuck.
What's the premise?
Witches, I guess.
Kind of, yeah.
Witches
Cults.
and a really weird looking little girl.
Cults? Yeah,
I was going to say I feel like a dick for saying it, but she is not a
It's-
very good looking.
We had the same exact conversation when we talked about the episode. She does not look that weird in real life. Like they put makeup around her eyes
Oh,
to
really?
kind of make her look like that.
They make her skin look real pale. I think they did something like with the dimples. They like
Yeah,
really
with her eyes.
exaggerated them.
You know what she reminds me of? Hey, you guys,
Wow.
the Goonies.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
No, we got that.
are we done with this segment?
Hold on. I was also going to mention, if you want something not as intense as Hereditary, check out Mandy with Nick Cage. Still kind
Oh,
of scary.
No, dude. Check out Mandy with Nick Cage anyways.
Yeah.
The movie was fucking amazing.
I heard Mandy was an Oscar contender for
It
2018.
is. It was unreal.
It was honestly the best Nicolas Cage role I've ever seen. I'm not
Whoa.
bullshitting you at all.
Better than National Treasure.
100%.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to swallow. Better than Face Off.
Oh,
What's the one where he punches the nun in the face?
I don't know.
You've never seen that clip where he just squares up with the nun and just knocks her in the head?
Are you sure that didn't happen in real life?
No, it happened. It's in this 10-minute ultimate Nick
That
Cage clip on
Might have
YouTube.
just been actual Nicolas Cage going to church.
It could be him.
Nick Cage freakouts.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Bees!
Definitely has over like 16 million views on YouTube.
But let's not forget Ghost Rider.
I never saw Ghost Rider.
I have-
You definitely did.
Yes, several times.
He tries
Speaking of
to
movies that are always on FX,
Ava Mendez.
the best part of those
Smoke
movies.
show.
I would argue that Spirit of Vengeance was better than the first one.
See, I wouldn't even bother watching the second because the first one was so fucking bad.
There you go. All right, let's move on, shall we? We don't have a question for next week yet, but I promise It'll get out there eventually, maybe, if Mark remembers. In the meantime, you can find us on all social media at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. I guess it's news time.
News to us.
Boop.
There we go.
Is that the drop? Okay.
It was. So maybe sad, maybe deserved news. We won't be seeing a third season of either Iron Fist or Luke Cage.
Oops.
Regardless of the improvement that we saw these seasons and the fact that Netflix never really cancels anything, had to really be underperforming, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care for these.
I think
two
after the
either at
first
all.
season of Iron Fist, just speaking on Iron Fist, nobody was willing to give season 2 a chance. I watched the first episode and it was a little bit better, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, oh, I got to keep watching this. I stopped watching it. Season 2 of Iron Fist.
Those characters only deserve one season anyways, in my book. Here's what I was thinking. What are the odds that they cancel Iron Fist, they cancel Luke Cage, all within like the same week? Heroes for Hire, baby, season 1. It's going to be announced. I'm calling it right now.
I hope that you're right. That's an amazing story. Those of you that don't know, they're basically vigilantes. I guess it's all in the name, right? They're heroes for hire.
Is it like a Doom Patrol type thing?
No.
Just
Not
two bros
Who are the
just
heroes?
kicking ass.
Okay.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
And that way you have two.
Oh, it's just them two.
Yeah, you have two series that underperformed and then slowly showed improvement. So instead of the cost of running two of them at once, you mitigate that cost by pushing out a show with two of them and all of the ensemble that comes with it. That's what I think.
Did you think about that, Smithers?
Not really, and here's why.
No, he didn't. He just won't admit it.
I just said no,
No, you said not really. Like,
and here's why.
go ahead.
I think all of these are going to get canceled, and they're all going to show up on Disney streaming service coming next year.
Ooh.
Because they're kind of taking control of all of their properties back. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be the last Marvel movie we see on Netflix. So I think that they're going to kind of pull these properties away from Netflix and put them onto their own streaming service.
I get that, but I could have sworn I read somewhere that there's a contingency in that contract to where Netflix can still do like whatever the fuck they want. Like they can cancel shows, they can greenlight shows, and Marvel has to abide by it. I don't know when the cutoff is when their contract expires, but I think that's why they're like, well, the budgets are too extreme to run both of these series at once when they're not getting a great reception. Why don't we just fucking merge it into one? And that's why I think they might do it. It makes more sense because I don't think, number one, what's the guy that plays Luke Cage? What's his name?
Mike Coulter.
I really like him. I think he's charismatic. I think he's a good lead, but all the supporting characters are weak. I think that Danny, the guy that plays Danny Rand from Game of Thrones,
Jones?
Finn Jones,
Finn Jones, yeah.
I like him, but his supporting cast is weak. But you take both of those guys, put them in one show, you got two great leads, and then a más o menos ensemble cast.
Did you watch Defenders?
I wanted to like it. I convinced myself I liked it, but it was fucking terrible.
It was bad.
Sigourney,
It was bad.
Even Sigourney Weaver let me down.
Yeah.
So if you can't get Defenders right and you built up like 4 different shows with multiple seasons, what do you do after that? I guess it's like the same thing as Justice League. You're kind of SOL at that point.
But if I had to go in order of canceling these shows, Netflix is doing it right. Like, fuck Iron Fist, fuck Luke Cage.
What about Jessica Jones?
Next one to be canceled would be Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
We need more Punisher.
I liked season 1 a lot,
It's
surprisingly.
good.
And I knew nothing about Jessica Jones. I just knew that she was Luke Cage's like slam piece in the comics.
But get out of here with your 13 episode seasons.
Just too long for a
It's way
character,
too
and we
long.
can't, and we still can't get a Man of Steel sequel. But Jessica Jones gets 2 seasons.
I don't know, man. I
Priorities are a little fucked here.
I need them to keep making Daredevil and the Punisher. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I didn't even really, and I'm surprised because I like John. What is it, Bernthal?
Bernthal.
Yeah.
I really like him as an actor. The show was just too much of a slow burn at the beginning, and I think I was just so burnt out from all the shows that they had put out
From
that I
500 hours.
To when it
of-
started picking up at the end.
It is too much, like you said earlier. Cut it down to like 8 episodes. 13 for Jessica Jones.
That's what we say every time we review these shows. It's
But we were all fans of the Punisher, so
yeah.
it's
What
hard
the
to say.
fuck do you talk about for 13 hours with Jessica Jones?
I mean, I think with the Punisher too, you could have get rid of 3 of those episodes. You're fine.
one
But-
subplot.
Yeah.
And that's like 3 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Richard Madden, a.k.a. Rob Stark, is reportedly slated to be our next James Bond. but also be prepared for a billion contradicting rumors and then confirmations and then denying and reconfirming. What do you think of him as James Bond?
I haven't seen him without a scruffy beard and long hair, so
Curly hair. James Bond doesn't have curly hair.
They'll fix his hair.
I said
I'm not worried about it.
I'm thinking.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
You said Ned Stark or
Rob Stark.
Rob Stark. Okay.
King of the North, the second.
Yes.
That would be Sean
okay.
Bean.
I was thinking Ned Stark. I'm like, isn't dude a little old? But you do have Daniel Craig that was doing those, and he was still pretty old. But okay, that makes more sense now.
That's pretty much the reaction is.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't like him over Idris Elba?
Yeah, he has
No,
really
I
curly
absolutely
hair.
don't.
You wouldn't want him?
Not over Idris Elba.
Oh, I think Idris would do phenomenal.
There's no question that he's the best option. It would be amazing. He's an excellent actor, and he's so British.
Super Brit.
Yeah, he is a curly-headed fuck, that Rob Stark guy. Yeah.
So no deep thoughts on this.
I'm a fan of the
I
King
don't
of the
think he
North.
could carry the
I think-
franchise.
I think
No.
we're going to see if he can. This is his first big role besides Game of Thrones,
yeah,
in
but
my
you don't,
opinion.
you don't just hand like James Bond to, hey, let's see
A
if you
young
can carry a
and up-and-comer?
franchise.
I mean,
It's too big
What
of a
was
risk.
Daniel Craig before James Bond?
Layer Cake. Did you ever see that?
No?
It's an amazing movie.
Okay.
You had seen him do really powerful stuff.
Layer Cake?
Layer Cake is an amazing movie.
Okay. So
Just your
you saw
response.
one. So,
Layer Cake?
So he was so Rob Stark is King of the North. That's one powerful role.
Okay.
He can take
Let's
over.
disassociate his actual
Game of Thrones.
character and look at his acting performance, which was fine.
It's been too long since I even seen it, honestly.
Okay.
Can't go back to. But
You just want him to be James Bond because Game of Thrones.
1,000,000%.
Just like how you wanted that guy from Game of Thrones to be Iron Fist.
Who?
Oh, no, I didn't even watch Iron Fist. And he was the Lord of Flowers. I got to care less about that character.
The Lord of Light.
Was that his name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes sense.
shit.
All right, let's play a little game here.
I actually don't mind.
Guess the next cinematic universe that's coming our way. So I prepped you guys for this, and I'm guessing that none of you came up with responses.
Street Sharks.
That's not a
Street Sharks
universe.
versus Battletoads.
Versus gargoyles.
No, too far.
A universe.
Versus the Mars, Rats of Mars. What are they called?
Biker
Gremlins.
mice from Mars.
Fuck off. Yeah.
The answer is actually Hanna-Barbera because they're making a live-action Tom and Jerry, a new Scooby-Doo reboot,
Wow.
new Flintstones, and Wacky Racers.
No Jetsons.
I think the Jetsons is down the line.
Ooh.
I'm way more a fan of the Jetsons than the Flintstones. If we're going tit for tat on that
Obviously.
I
John
think
Goodman, the best.
And he didn't even come
Right.
back for the second one, did he?
one.
No, it was a fucking nobody. Very forgettable.
Yeah, you can't do that with a movie franchise.
Who was
Except
that?
for War Machine from the Marvel movies.
True.
Shit, Terrence Howard.
Whoop that trick. Get him.
Say what you got to say, Dennis. I can see you got something to say.
I was literally just watching a video of Terrence Howard, and he's like, "You know what, man? I know they want me back, but I still ain't gonna come back. Fuck a Don Cheadle."
Fuck a Don Cheadle.
And Don Cheadle's like, "Yup."
Yeah, they've had no success without Terrence Howard.
That's hilarious.
He's such a shitbag. Have you ever seen the video where he tries to explain to you that 1 + 1 = 3?
No.
Come again?
Makes more sense if you're like
Exactly.
a window.
That's a little homework for you. Let's move on. We got our first look at the newest Watchmen character, and it hit Instagram earlier this week, and it's basically just a dude with a big old bandana-colored scarf. This is not a good tease.
That is
You know-
Finn Jones.
It might have been. Only it covered the bottom half of his face instead of the top. We already know that they're going to introduce pretty much all new characters for this, but tease this with an actual scene or something, or show me something happening. Like, Damon Lindelof is obviously going to take this in a weird new direction, but this is not a selling point.
They're taking all new characters. They're not taking like
This is
Rorschach
going to
and-
be more updated after the movie and the original story.
But they're continuing on kind of from the original story.
Yes.
Interesting.
And if you remember the movie, most of them
You're not
died.
locked in here. Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was like a loose adaptation of the graphic novel, but he would take his own, like creative like liberties. I didn't know that it was post.
Yeah.
That is my
novel.
understanding.
Well, I think I just lost a little bit of interest in it.
It's the Watchmen and Damon Lindelof. How much interest could you lose here?
Where's Damon Lindelof? What did he do before?
Leftovers.
Great series.
Yeah, you haven't watched that yet.
He did Prometheus. He didn't
direct Prometheus. It was
Prometheus
Really?
sucked ass.
Lost,
Never saw Lost.
Tomorrowland.
Only heard good
Really?
things.
World War Z. He wrote the screenplay for. He wrote Prometheus, Cowboys and Aliens.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
There you go. That's Damon Lindelof.
not the best track record.
I disagree. A lot of these are really good, but that's my opinion.
Which sucks.
The tease had like a very like Sin City aesthetic to it, which I mean, I guess Watchmen kind of is anyways.
Yeah.
But
Frank Miller.
it number one, it's not an original character, so we can't identify with it. So we're not going to have any type of opinion. And two, what the fuck kind of image was that to begin with?
I don't know.
A bad one.
Does it give you a little more hope
season.
that it's HBO doing this?
Sort of, because you have to invest a bigger budget, but not in the sense that I have no idea
It's
what it
gonna
is.
for sure be good. Yeah, we
I'm going to watch it regardless.
don't know that.
If Dr. Manhattan's big dick is not in this show, I don't think I'm going to watch it.
HBO's all about the dicks now. So many dicks on HBO. There's no way that they don't put his dick out there.
On your guys' last
the
episode
first
was
scene.
the Batwing.
Yeah,
I actually had no idea what that was, and I went and looked it up. I'm like,
In
wow, they
truth.
really went and drew his dick. So
Yeah.
let's continue the theme here.
The Wang talk?
the wings
Okay.
of superheroes.
More cocks, baby. Jamie Lee cocks a lot of guns in this movie.
Tom Holland appeared in a very not funny skit on Jimmy Kimmel last
That was
night.
pretty bad.
2 nights ago. But he did show off his new black and red suit. What do you think?
I like it.
It kind of
lot.
looks better, right?
Yeah,
It's clean.
A lot of people were complaining. This was like mid-90s Spider-Man, the black.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. But the segment was really dumb.
I hope that this suit in this movie is Peter Parker and not Tony Stark.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Like he builds his own.
I mean that's the thing. He is like his own genius. So you would hope that he would build his own suit and not rely on Mr. Stark. Mr. Stark. I didn't like that part about Homecoming. And then they give him like the AI and the suit. That's not Peter Parker. Peter Parker comes up with his own web shooters. He comes up with his own suit. And I do like the red and black. Only thing I don't like is the spider is too small. It's like a micro penis on his chest. And I heard that people online said that the back spider's white. I haven't seen any images of it.
I wouldn't like that.
But that wouldn't be a good look. It looks like the Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah, I was going to say
suit.
the video game.
is it black or just really dark blue?
It's black.
Is it black?
It's black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing about the spider too, it's got like a white outline on it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't, to me, it doesn't sit well. They definitely should have gone with like the Amazing Spider-Man spider.
The really long legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would suit it better, like aesthetically,
That's
but
badass.
that's just me being fucking picky.
I like the 2099 suit where it's like super tall and almost looks like the Punisher logo, but that's just personal preference. So yeah.
I think I like McFarlane's suit for Spider-Man. I don't know if it's just from him drawing him in the comics, but the huge eyes on the suit, that was what I loved about Spider-Man. I don't care
Not the
for real
adjustable
small
ones?
No, not necessarily. Yeah, that looks weird as shit when he does the little
It
thing where
does.
they close.
I like it though, because it actually shows expression.
Yeah.
It's like Deadpool.
Mhm.
Deadpool's eyes shouldn't move with the suit, but when he tells a joke or he gets mad, like you can see
can
it on
see.
the movie.
Yeah.
I think the Amazing Spider-Man, although Andrew Garfield was like a super hipster
Doofus.
douchebag Peter Parker,
Doofus is, yeah.
the suit in the sequel, in the second one, was the best live action interpretation. The eyes
I
were
can't picture
perfect.
it though right now.
I think the Iron Spider Infinity War was the best one.
He's just relying too much on Tony Stark, and it takes away from like the character. You know,
He's still like 15.
yeah, but you still have to cater like that same, I don't know, like ideology to Peter Parker, regardless of the age. Because what's he going to do like 10 years from now?
He's going to get older. He's going to make his own suits. It'll happen. Have faith. I thought you were
try.
going to say something, but you were actually just yawning. You have nothing to add to this conversation.
Yeah.
All right, last piece of news. Almost last piece of news. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, titled Code Word Hot Christmas, which sounds like a dirty-ass sex move, has been pushed back to 2021 because Disney is trying to ruin everything, and they fired James Gunn, and now he's...
It's like some Avatar shit. 2021.
Well, Avatar's coming out every year for the rest of our lives. So
Yeah, but that's really far in the future.
this clearly just says they don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
Can we make up what the hell a hot Christmas would be if it was a sex move?
Sounds like Luke Cage. Hot Christmas.
It's probably just a Christmas tree up your butt.
I was going to say something along the lines of one of those things that you ornaments. You crack an ornament and then you stick it up your butt.
Wow. Moving on. Dave Bautista
It's a
says
hot
he's
Christmas.
going back to the WWE because he won't have to play Drax for a while. So not a great sign.
He should be Bane, right? In Suicide Squad. Let's get that happening.
He's not
We
gonna be
talked
Bane.
about this. I don't want him to be
Somebody
Bane.
said, who was talking about this? Fuck, I don't remember. But somebody suggested Solomon Grundy.
That would be good. King Shark would be good.
I don't want to see him with a bunch of prosthetics.
Yeah.
Solomon Grundy, you can kind of just paint him gray.
I said Calendar Man.
But honestly, the
That'd be
prosthetics
cool,
that they did for Killer Croc was fucking awesome. That's
Yeah, but
probably
the writing was terrible.
well, everything about Suicide Squad was pretty terrible.
Besides
you
the
have to-
trailer, most epic trailer of all time.
You have
It
to like
was.
be able to recognize Dave Bautista, like the face. Otherwise, what's the point? You could just get anybody to
We
be
need
in a suit.
something
What's
Drax-like.
what's another character he could potentially play?
Kite Man.
No.
Yes. Man Bat.
Man Bat.
Man-
That is super. That would be
Professor
a lot
Pig.
Of fucking prosthetics.
Professor
Pig was always like a little guy.
Hello.
Yeah.
I think Solomon Grundy would be really good.
I don't know how I would feel about Solomon.
I think he'd be funny as just like ventriloquist. Just like a weirdo with a puppet. Dude, that would be
Okay.
pretty funny.
He's just wearing those tiny glasses he had
Exactly.
in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Okay.
have him as the Riddler.
If he has to be super flamboyant over the top like Jim Carrey, then I'm in.
Just the way that he characterized Drax, and then a more like intricate and just smarter characters like the Riddler. I feel like it would be ironic.
But also he'll snap your neck.
Yeah, like he's intimidating as fuck.
I'm kind of in for that. Okay. The
Dave
Riddler.
Bautista for
Sold me.
Riddler.
Last bit of news. Aquaman has officially been slated to hit theaters in China a full 2 weeks before its U.S. release.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why not just have it all at the same?
I still don't understand this. Obviously, international box offices have different release dates. Different movies are coming out. December's already a crowded release schedule, but this is just asking for people to pirate it. There's no real good reason for
That's
this.
very true.
That's my biggest fear is number one, the Chinese, they smart, bro.
Yeah.
They will record that shit from all angles in a movie theater, leak it online, and then I'll never go to the theater and see it.
They'll also cut your hand off for being in the theater with your camera out, but
Or for saying that on air.
High risk, high reward.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not going to watch a pirated.
You would.
Version.
If it
I
came
know.
out 2 full weeks early,
I would, for sure.
I don't know. It
I
depends
for
on the
sure would.
quality.
I would still go see it in the theater, but I would watch it pirated first.
What a waste of time.
What do you guys think about the movie overall after that recent trailer?
I'm on the fence.
Stupid.
I really like Black Manta
I think that's going to be the biggest highlight.
as a character. Really like Ocean Master, obviously. I
Dolph
think
Lundgren.
he's the number one Aquaman villain. And I think it's cool they have him in there. And obviously Black Manta, his suit is fucking badass. From what I
They finally did an amazing comic actor.
It's exactly the same, which is the main reason why people don't like it is because they think it's too similar. But
He's
me
a
personally-
Cyclops we've always wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about the 5-minute trailer here.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Also, that's too much of a movie to show.
Yeah,
Stop it. Which is going to be one of my big complaints about Halloween.
I could have done without it, but I wasn't watching it like, all right, this is total garbage. I don't want to see it.
So me being a DC fanboy, I always try to defend it as much as I can. And everyone's like, this is going to be like DC's Black Panther, all the technology, like the CGI, it's incredible. I'm really fucking praying that this does not crash and burn and it's not too much CGI. The acting's not too shitty. Amber Heard has not sold me like at all other than the fact that she's a dime.
But she's not a good actress, and that wig looks terrible.
It
Amber
looks
Turd.
Good one.
Nice, dude.
You just haven't talked in a while, and you felt like you had to interject.
Yeah, she's a smoke though.
And James Momoa still bland as shit. Jason.
Even his name is lame.
I'm with you though. Like when he did the voiceover for the first trailer, I was like, Jesus, dude, are you falling asleep right now?
My father comes from the land. My mother from
That
the
is
sea.
way more than he had. Like he sounded like me. I know that I'm monotone. He was monotone.
Hey, my dad's from the land and my mom's from the sea.
That would have been better.
Housekeeper.
Hopefully Patrick Wilson saves the shit out of that movie.
All right, we're gonna move on from the news.
Best.
We the best. Worst.
The worst. She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank, terrible, but thank you.
All right, Brick, who's your best man alive?
Mine is more of a best team alive, and that would be a high school out of Baton Rouge. The high school is the University Lab High School.
What the
ULAB. Their
ULAB.
football team is actually doing an homage to the Water Boy. And they have the Mud Dog uniforms. They wore them for a high school game, and I thought that was hilarious.
That
Bobby
is
Boucher.
amazing. I think that is Adam Sandler's most underrated movie ever.
Do they have the super big oversized shoulder pads?
I
hope so.
Cut his fucking head off! Whatever they say, it's amazing.
Dr. Insano says, was it Dr. Insano?
It is. It was.
Captain Insano?
Captain and
Something Insano.
Yeah, I think it was Captain.
Whatever. Mark, who's your best man alive?
Just gonna go with Joel Embiid for his pregame ritual, which is watching Rick and Morty. I found that pretty hilarious. He's just sitting there. He actually had, I don't know if it was like the playbook. I don't know. He's watching.
It was the playbook.
It was a playbook. But he had Rick and Morty on his phone and he was watching that over the playbook.
That was the end of season 2, which was a banger of an
Yes.
episode.
I respect that move, though.
Me
Because
too.
he's just like, I'm so good at basketball that I don't have to actually know the game plan.
But he probably knows the game plan. He's just going through it. He just needs a little Rick and Morty to ease his mind.
Very true. Dennis?
So mine is not a man. It is a best creature alive.
Ooh.
So we have a monster alligator stomps through Florida golf course, freaks everyone out.
What a power move.
15-foot long, nicknamed Chubs.
Even better.
From Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, even
Look
better.
how
A lot of
big
Adam Sandler.
this fucker
That's
is.
fake. That's fake shit.
I don't know, man.
Holy
It's
shit.
the Huffington
That's
Post.
a dinosaur.
I know you never
That's a
know
fucking
though. Like
dino.
it could be Jimmy Kimmel in that suit. You never know.
I think it's real. And this dude was just walking around on the course.
Actual Jurassic Park looking ass.
No, at the bottom of the article, they have like the video of Hugh Grant when he takes off his glasses in the original. He's like, oh my God. And then cue the
Should you say Hugh Grant? Because that definitely wasn't Hugh Grant.
That's not Hugh Grant.
Hugh
You're
Grant
right.
is the British dude.
Yeah, he is. He's a total douchebag. Prostitutes.
Still funny.
What's the guy's name from Jurassic Park? Something. No, I think Grant was his name in the movie, wasn't it? Mark's trying to validate whether or not this is real.
I'm just looking at I'm reading this and it's like, what the
I'm pretty sure that's the same.
They want to
gator.
make a tourist attraction out of it and
I
have
wonder-
people riding him and getting pictures because he's like They said he's harmless. Like he does.
Oh, sure. 15
No, he's
foot
not.
long.
Yeah, stick your head in his mouth. He's harmless. You're talking about Sam Neill, who plays Grant.
There we go. I don't know why Hugh Grant came to mind.
Hugh Grant would have been way funnier in that movie.
What's that fucking series that he's in?
Bridget Jones' Diary?
Okay, well I can.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. Bridget Jones' Diary. Yeah, I swear to God, they made a fucking sequel to that movie.
Oh my God.
How that got greenlit, I don't know.
All right, I got two. I got a best and a worst. My best, and I don't know if you saw this news story, but the Beer Baron is what they're calling him, from Fort Worth, Texas. He literally walks into a liquor store and just bear hugs 5 full cases of Bud Light and sprints out the door. Can you, how hard is it to carry 2 cases of beer?
It's a lot of forearms.
Your arms
got-
are falling off.
5. What kind of PCP do you think he was on?
I don't know.
That's a big dick move.
Just enough, apparently. Because if he would have had 6, he's getting caught. He's getting caught with 6.
Think about how far he's running in an all-out sprint too, just to get away and get out of.
But the thing is
People singing.
if he drops that 5th case, he's got 4 other cases. He's not stopping back, you know?
And I admire that. We here at the Chumpcast don't necessarily condone theft, but if you're going to do it memorably. Be a pro. Be good at what you're doing. Strive for excellence.
Be better than the rest.
Don't
I admire
half-ass
this.
anything.
Be the best version of yourself.
Full ass everything.
All right, I got a worst man alive too, and it is Chris Sale, because this just came across the newswire earlier today. He was in the hospital, and he had this stomach ailment that was really curious. Nobody knew what it was. So a reporter asked him
He's
about
just
it. And he
holding his
says,
farts.
I had irritation from a belly button ring. Constantly taking it in and out caused the irritation. Doctors and nurses at MGH were awesome. Things happen, you handle them, and keep moving forward. So I guess Chris Sale has a belly button ring that he keeps taking in and out.
He is one for fashion. Didn't he cut up all the Sox uniforms one time
He
because he
did.
didn't think they were fucking good enough to pitch him?
No, it was because it had a collar, and it bothered him so much that he cut it up. And also, he basically demanded that one of the players' sons had to be in the locker room.
Oh, it was that guy. That's the guy we're talking about.
Chris
I
Sale,
remember
the
that
pitcher.
story. That asshole.
he's kind of an asshole.
He sounds like a real full-on psychopath.
Wasn't
It
it
has
like-
to do with like he leans super hard into those MLB superstitions that he needs everything to go right or else he's going to lose his brain.
But he's really good at throwing a
pitching.
baseball.
He's really good at pitching.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Baseball's weird, man. I think of all the sports, baseball has the weirdest guys.
I would agree 100%.
could
Just
be
from the
true.
superstitions.
I mean, NBA players are weird, but there aren't enough of them. And the ones that are weird are super weird, but most of them are pretty normal. Every baseball player is a fucking weirdo.
I attest to that 1,000,000%.
Nice.
That was a good one.
All right, that wraps up our Best Man Alive. So we're going to get into what Dennis actually came in here to talk about.
That seems to be a new fucking drop of something.
It's the new score, guys.
Did you guys plan that?
No.
Because in my headphones, it sounded like perfectly offset.
It was super well done.
Wow, way better than any of the harmonizing that Brick has ever done.
Well, that's not too far.
Oh, all right. Halloween recently released 80% on Rotten Tomatoes and also 80% from fans. Directed by a guy named David Gordon Green, who also directed Pineapple Express and Your Highness. So I think that the reason he directed this is because he also wrote it with Danny McBride and a guy named Jeff Fradley. So they're really kind of getting outside of the comfort zone and going into horror here, which I appreciate.
No, definitely. I forgot that Danny McBride actually wrote this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with two other
With
guys.
two
but
other
yeah.
guys. But yeah, that doesn't seem like the resume that would be like, yo, let's lean into a Halloween movie.
But then shouldn't it have been funnier?
Agreed.
Well, you knew every scene in that movie. You knew exactly which scene Danny McBride had influence on.
Yeah.
Every scene with the
All I
dad.
gotta say is Julian, stud.
Definitely.
Even the overweight kid looked like Danny McBride, kind of.
Maybe it was
You
Danny
think about
McBride.
He probably
That was young
envisioned
Danny
him
McBride.
as
He
the guy.
literally cast himself in this movie. Okay. Estimated budget of $15 million. Classic Blumhouse. Classic.
Wow, that's very low.
And is projected to have a $40 million opening weekend. So they're going to do just fine with this movie.
I think they
Well,
just changed the
now,
numbers. I think it's projected 80 mil,
Wow.
Are you shitting me?
I
Swear
could
to God.
be, yeah. Yeah, could be.
which is I think what Venom topped was like 80.23 million for October opening weekend. Halloween they're projecting 80.3, so like 0.7 above Venom. Making
So we
it
would
the
have
biggest
two record
grossing-
breakers in the
biggest
same year.
grossing October release.
My
It's
theater was
impressive.
packed.
That's impressive. Thinking of like how many movies that are supposed to be horror movies that you think would come out in October would.
It would be even more impressive that's a rated R film, because rated R films never do that well, except for Deadpool, and Venom was PG-13. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, true.
Kudos to Halloween then. Boom.
Same thing as it. I mean, it what I think it was way over 80 mil opening weekend, wasn't it?
I think it came out in September.
It did. It did.
They had really good marketing for it, though.
They did.
A lot better than this movie.
I don't know. It's kind of everywhere.
I was gonna say I think the marketing for this movie is better than the movie itself.
Remember
in my
the
opinion.
marketing for it where they were hanging balloons from sewer grates?
Okay,
that would have made me shit
Spray
my
painting
pants
like
with-
You'll Float too.
Yeah, it's pretty
Get that
good.
shit out
And
of here.
didn't you walk by like an epic spray painting?
It's down on the corner. It was the taco joint. Fuck, I'm forgetting the name of it.
Quick
yeah.
Chicago plug. Taco Bell.
There is
It was
a
not Taco Bell, but it was really good artwork. Yeah, it'll come to me, and I'll bring it up randomly while one of you is trying to make a point. But anyways, Jamie Lee Curtis revives her role as Laurie Strode, who apparently will play this until the day that she dies, and she's going to be running away from Michael Myers in her rascal scooter and trying to kill him with her oxygen tanks.
Yes.
Isn't this gonna be the last one? Hopefully.
No
No.
chance.
If
Damn.
it does in
How
fact hit 80 mil,
If it
We're
Blumhouse
still talking about budget.
dude, Blumhouse will literally greenlight the fucking sequel tomorrow.
they've already
They
greenlit
have.
it, I guarantee it.
Well, originally, Danny McBride and David Gordon Green said that they had panned out 2 films, but they didn't want to release 2 in the event that one absolutely failed, seeing as it's half reboot, rehash / sequel to the original. So they already had plans for a sequel, meaning that first of all, we all know Michael Myers isn't going to fucking die ever. And he's certainly not going to die from a fire. We've seen that happen a lot on Halloween too.
Spoilers.
Yeah, whatever.
It's okay.
Are we not allowed to do spoilers?
No,
Not
we'll
yet.
get to
We'll
that.
get to it.
So
but-
we're going to do a non-spoiler, then a spoiler review. What she said is not a spoiler. But let's keep going with this. Judy Greer plays Karen, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. We also have Will Patton reprising his role as Officer Hawkins.
Stud.
And a million other nameless and very forgettable actors. That said, how was the acting in this? Because I was kind of torn.
I was too. My biggest, so I wrote like a positives, negatives list. I would say positives of this movie is what's the granddaughter's name? It's the girl's the girl that plays her, Andy. She's from
Allison is her name in the movie.
Allison.
Yeah.
Well, the actress that plays her, she's from the Chicagoland suburbs.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's a hometown hero.
She was decent.
I mean, with what she was given to work with and the amount of screen time, I think it landed well.
Screen time, more like.
Screen time, yeah.
See what I did there?
Gotcha. I would say her and I think Judy Greer did. Is it Greer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she did very well in terms of portraying a character that's very annoyed of their fucking mother and just trying to move. Like, she wore a Christmas sweater on Halloween. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah. You're like, all right, Judy, take this seriously. Come on.
The one thing that I thought, I'm going to just interrupt you real quick. For me, I couldn't get over for Judy Greer. I just kept wanting her to say, well, say goodbye to these. Just like flash her tits. I was like, I couldn't get away from that until like the end of the movie where she did do fine. But God.
What was the sheriff's name?
Will Patton,
Sheriff.
Officer Hawkins.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy
So
from
Will
Three
Patton,
Homicides.
Jamie Lee, Judy Greer, and then Andy did a great job. Everybody else was hit or miss. Oh, and the kid that played Julian. That was
Yeah.
my biggest
You got to
highlight,
talk
I would
about
say.
Julian.
But you can write off all the British people in this movie
In the
because they were
beginning?
all really bad.
Look at it, Jason. Look at it.
Michael.
It's like not Jay, Michael. That's going to happen at least twice.
Twice. Okay. Being real optimistic about this one. Yeah, everybody else was really forgettable. Not great.
But that's the thing, though. You know, we look at, I put this movie on such a high pedestal, being it a direct sequel. And when you look back at the original, it's literally the same fucking formula. It's a bunch of expendable characters that realistically add no value other than being people that Michael can kill.
Stabbing dummies. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what this movie did. I don't think it's way better than the Friday the 13th reboot, than the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, than
Really setting the bar low.
than any other Halloween sequel or reboot, except for Halloween 2, which still has a very close spot, to my
disagree. All right, but we got to talk about that though, because technically, if you're going into this and you've seen the original, what you need to do is forget everything that came in between these.
Yep.
Because what this does is reset the universe. This is what our buddy E-Man calls a C-boot.
Mhm.
It's a sequel and a reboot. It's a sequel to the original and a reboot for all of the other sequels that came after that. So forget Halloween 2, Halloween 3, H2O, forget all those. This is supposed to come directly after the original. This is 40 years later. So there's the answer to your question, Brick.
Yeah, so Halloween, all the ones in between, they just like said they were just fake news.
Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly what happened.
They just disregarded
news.
them, which
Because-
a lot of people are fine with. And
Look, H2O is terrible. Josh Hartnett and Joseph Gordon-Levitt don't show up in this, so automatically disappointed.
What's that line in H2O where he's like, you don't want to get beat with a hockey stick?
Was that LL Cool J?
No, that was Jason Gordon-Levitt. It's like the beginning of the
Joseph
movie right before
Gordon-Levitt.
he gets that's the craziest death scene too, is he gets murdered with an ice skate.
I do remember
That was
this
actually
scene.
good, though.
It's like,
That
you
was
know, I'm
probably
pretty
best part
good
of
with
that
the
movie.
stick. And then Michael just takes his ice skate and guts him. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, there's some really big name actors in that movie, though, and not a great movie.
I think that this sequel, I don't know what your guys' opinions are on the overall story. I thought that with what they were trying to do, it worked. I heard that back a couple months ago when they did a lot of screen tests, it didn't test positively. So spoiler alert, if we can. I guess how Michael escapes in this film, it's due to the doctor, Dr. Certain, which, by the way, my opinion was fucking terrible.
He was
So bad.
Like I
Yeah.
said, all of the British people, terrible.
He was like the iconic, like British dude with the mustache. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking evil.
Michael.
I'm evil.
Yeah.
But I guess in the original script, Lori is actually the reason that he escapes because she wants to kill him. And in the trailers too, you can kind of see like a cut when he's when the sheriff's talking to her and he's like, why the hell would you go ahead and do that? She goes, because I want to kill him. The way the verbiage that he uses, it doesn't necessarily make sense with what it
sound like it makes sense or fits.
It sounds a little choppy.
Yeah.
And it would make more sense with the fact that because there's a lot of scenes from the trailers that were not in this film. And the original cut, I guess it got a lot of backlash. And I remember that it did was, this is a couple of reports that she does something to where like the bus crashes. She lets him out and Lori ends up being the villain of the movie because she is the catalyst to all of the deaths and tragedy that happens in the movie.
So I haven't seen that version of the movie, but it would have been better than this version. Because instead, first of all, nothing that you said is a spoiler. Because obviously, Mike Myers is going to get out.
Mm-hmm. True.
And in this case, what they're doing is transporting him between mental institutions.
Again.
And all you really see is an overturned bus, and you don't get any explanation as to why. So what you're saying makes a ton of sense, because that would have been Lori that goes and like runs the bus off the road or whatever in her shitty little pickup. And
that whole subplot just felt super rushed and like completely unnecessary.
I agree.
Well, you just need a reason to say he's loose again.
Exactly. But I didn't believe the motives behind the doctor, which is why
I can see why.
Yeah,
but the guy just didn't sell me on it, and they should have at least spent more time or shown some sort of flashbacks with him spending time with Michael and his like aggravation to why Michael doesn't speak. Everyone's like fascination with Michael Myers talking in this movie. Just fucking say something. He's like, no, your head's gone.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what we liked and didn't like, and then we'll talk more about the spoilers later on. Mark, standard questions apply. Jackness and gore.
I had some issues with a lot of the kill scenes in this. The gore, there were obviously some parts that were just like, goo, when you saw them. Overall, we talked about this before we went on air. It makes a lot more sense when you hear what the budget is, of why it's, all right, I assume Michael just murdered that girl right there, but they're not going to show me how he did it. They're just going to pan back to her, or the forensic people looking at her, or the sheriff.
They did that for about half the kills.
They did that with a lot of the kills where we don't actually see Michael killing the person. We just see the aftermath.
Which is okay. I mean, we get a handful of deaths that we see. I don't think you have to show every single one.
Just super sadistic in that
but
way.
Mark needs to see those. Yeah. Knowing how the movie ends up doing in the box office, though, would you have rather seen a little bit more?
I felt a little bit cheated is what I'm trying to get.
They definitely didn't budget all of the deaths the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine.
A lot of jaw snapping. What's with him in Jaws?
He was snapping necks.
Yeah.
There were some of the kills in Jaws were just like.
Well, ironically enough, David Gordon Green in interviews said that Michael Myers is like Jaws in the sense that like he'll kill anything, anywhere, at any time, like no remorse, and he wants it to be reminiscent of like the fear that you got from Jaws. And Michael Myers can be around the corner at any point in time, as if you're in the water with like a shark. Maybe that's why he's really big on Jaws. I don't know.
Well,
good point.
But that is kind of a problem that I had with this, though, is in the past, and I know that we've technically retconned that stuff, but he always had a reason. Like, he was at least trying to kill certain people. So, spoilers for the past movies, but the whole thing was he had been cursed, and he had to kill the rest of his family to, relinquish the curse. And in this case, he's just out there killing people, just killing whoever.
He just has no empathy.
Which I think makes more sense in the fact that he's not a victim to some weird druid cult with a dude dressed in black, like a really poor man's Batman, I suppose, with a cowboy hat.
He's just a pure psycho.
He's a psychotic who went out one night because he had somehow escaped with everybody else and he targeted a bunch of girls that looked like his sister. And then that one girl that got away, he's fixated on the fact that he did not fucking kill her. So he decided, he's going to finish what he wanted to do, as opposed to the whole brother-sister angle, which we grew up with, but I think it's a little cheap.
But he still has to have some kind of supernatural affliction, right? Because he can sense when the mask is near. He can obviously sense where his family members are. So what's the explanation for that? Or are we just supposed to assume it's some kind of weird twin ESP?
Well, the doctor brought him to his sister's house.
Right, but what about the mask? Like, he can obviously...
He didn't really do much. He just thought everybody else was freaking out about it.
He's like, what?
All the other psychos.
What's going on, guys?
All the other psychos in there were just losing their shit.
How would he
He's like,
have
I don't
known
care
where
about the mask.
those
It's like,
two British
big
people
mask guy.
were had he not been able
What's
to
the mask
sense where the mask was?
No, I'm not.
That's where I lose.
He obviously has some kind of supernatural connection. That's what I'm getting at.
I heard that. I read somewhere that he can't kill without covering up his face, which is absolute bullshit. Because
Yeah, because he does it like 6 times in this movie.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe he just really likes William Shatner. I guess maybe he's such a diehard Shatner fan that he needs to wear Shatner's face on him.
Makes
before
sense.
he kills anybody.
My take on this movie, I liked a little bit of the unknown, as you alluded to, that it could have been Jamie Lee Curtis that drove the bus off the road, and that was the original plot. But the fact that they just like left, they cut in right where the bus just like got taken out.
Dumb.
But you don't need to know. You already know Michael Myers is going to escape anyway. There's no point of having some sort of convoluted reason for it to happen. But then again, the doctor's reasonings, that's what detracts from my take, is like, I don't think his reasonings were valid by any means, or he didn't sell them on me. I agree with that 100%.
Well, you can't trust British people, so.
But what I did like was some of the camera angles in this movie were actually pretty dope. Like, for example, one of the murders where he's looking in at just a lady right after he kills the lady with the hammer, where they don't show it. He goes to like the neighbor next door, and he peers through the window. You can see his mask through the glass. Like, the reflection was kind of cool. They kept the camera there, and then they show him walking around the house, and his giant shadow comes across.
That tracking shot was
The shadow was excellent. That was expert filmmaking.
I agree. And then just keeping the camera on there, and the lady comes over and closes the blinds, and just you see Michael Myers behind her. It's just like that single camera shot just was like very well designed and well made. And I think
That is the most technical I've ever heard you get about any shot in a movie.
yeah, no, I really liked that shot personally.
Why don't you talk about that about anything else?
I don't know. Maybe I'll get into it.
like all the Rock movies we see. What about him like
Serious.
jumping into
What
a
about The Rock
skyscraper?
Hanging off of a skyscraper. Jesus.
I didn't see the skyscraper with you guys, so I couldn't comment. But I think it complemented that murder well with some of the other camera angles where they didn't show the murders, and you can just assume what happens. You know, like when he kills her with a hammer, you don't need to see her bash her head with the hammer. You
Kind of do if you're Mark.
Yeah, well, yeah. Unless you're a pure psycho.
Yeah.
Sick fuck.
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. There were some good scenes, but overall, I mean, I'm giving this like a 5.5.
Last question. Was any of this actually scary to you?
I was kind of rooting for Michael at points. I was like, my man's out. Just let him murder some people. Let's see what's
My
up.
man's out. It'll kill some people.
There were some jump scares, especially towards the end when
Jump scares do not count as actual scares.
Yeah.
One thing I thought I liked that like camera shot that I thought earlier, but I think the quick cuts to the cameras where they were in a quiet environment and they cut quickly to some sort of loud environment, like when they were going to like the dance. It just didn't. That's a
fake out.
Yeah, that didn't jump at me. I know they tried to set it up for other scenes, but like when they were in the house and it was silent at the very end when Jamie Lee Curtis was going through room to room, that got me. My hands were sweating a little bit there. My heart was
Fair.
pounding, but that's like about it. I didn't really care.
You're not
anything
really
else.
scared.
Yeah, it
Got
is what it is. You know, Michael Myers is going to murder some people.
It wasn't suspense. It was like, it wasn't fear. It was just like suspense. You're like, wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah,
But you're
I
just
wonder
waiting
when
for a
Michael's
jump
going to
scare.
come out. No, I wonder when Michael's going to come out because
Yeah.
he's coming out. That's it.
You knew it was going to be him and Jamie Lee Curtis in the end. So everything in between was just, okay, he's definitely going to kill that person. I wonder how he's going to do it, but you were never to the point thinking like, okay, this is going to be a good fight for him, you know?
All right. So what we talk about when we do horror films is how stupid are the characters in this movie? Like, do they do things that you wouldn't expect people to do in real life?
They had your typical, you have to have the stoner kid in this.
Who thinks he's
The
like,
guy-
chubby kid.
The little kid with his dad, when they stumble across the fucking crashed correctional facility bus.
You mean Billy
Of
Elliot?
course they wouldn't get out of the...
Yeah.
Oh, that's so dumb. Why is Jamie Lee Curtis turning off the light in every room? You want to see things. He can obviously see in the dark.
Yeah, let everybody else get murdered, and then let's turn the floodlights on.
Are we in spoilers right now?
Yeah, fine. Rate it and we'll talk about spoilers.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Brick, you gave it a 5.5.
5.5, yep.
Dennis?
5.5.
I was not sold on it. I thought it was okay.
To me, with all the shitty sequels and the Rob Zombie movies, this was a breath of fresh air. 8 out of 10.
Wow. See, you can't compare this to the other sequels because that's like saying it's the smoothest shot of Malort you've ever had.
You can't, but if you look at our track record with these films, every single one after Halloween 4 is just so fucking terrible. And then to reboot a franchise with a director who has no vision, just it was you weren't excited for another Halloween movie. I wasn't excited until I found out that I didn't care about Jamie Lee being back. It was that John Carpenter had given his stamp of approval. That's how I knew that this may be an actual good sequel that we've waited for.
But it's almost like they should have stopped making these 30 years ago.
Well, yeah, but that's also Hollywood. I mean, you're remaking everything or rebooting everything or doing what did you call them? C-boots?
All the Disney stuff. You can, yeah.
I mean, they're doing everything. So, I mean, there's no originality anymore.
What about Aladdin, bro?
God.
No.
What about Lion King?
Fucking terrible. Still waiting on a Lion King trailer. That should be great.
I personally think that this is the most mediocre movie of the year. Like, it is straight down the middle for pretty much everything. Nothing really stood out to me as excellent. I kind of almost fell asleep in the second act.
Okay, wait. Is our rating a rating of a horror film or a rating of a actual film?
Well, it's
think about all the
actual
Fast and Furious
film,
movies
so.
and rate it on that scale.
Right. So this was the 3. No, this is a 5 out of 10 for me. It's the most straight down the line, presupposed, expected movie I've ever seen.
It's exactly what you want and think was going to happen in Halloween.
It's better than I thought it would be, but that is saying so little.
See, I thought it was going to be better, and I was a little let down. But at the same time, what do you expect from a slasher flick? It's not going to be fucking rocket science. Guy escapes, kills a bunch of teens. You have an emotional
had some good laughs
backbone.
too. You have to
had
admit
really
that.
good laughs. Sometimes it took me out of the film. Like the 2 cops talking about this sandwich. I'm like, what the fuck was the point of that entire scene? That is right there,
Cops being
Danny
cops.
McBride.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But they need more shit talking, like swearing or whatever.
Speaking of shit, tell me a more vulnerable position to be in than a gas station bathroom with your pants at your ankles and Michael Myers at the door.
Pause. From here on out, spoilers. So tune into the show notes.
Spoilers.
And make sure you stick around after spoilers. At the very end, we do our recommendations. But also, know that if you haven't seen this, there's really nothing to spoil. It's a horror movie with Michael Myers. You know exactly what's going to fucking happen.
People die, guys.
All right. Brick, go ahead with your point.
No, is there any more? Tell me a more vulnerable position you've ever been in than in a gas station with your pants at your ankles and a Michael Myers at the door. Like, you can't be in a more vulnerable position.
Maybe like a dentist's chair.
No, because you're literally caged in unless you have to crawl underneath the gross floor of a fucking gas station bathroom.
I felt like that was very apropos for her because she's like, first of all, you're British as fuck. And you walk into a shitty gas station in central Illinois and you say, where's the loo?
Where's the loo?
You deserve to get murdered.
Yeah, she's about to get...
I felt like basically everyone in this movie deserved to be murdered except for Julian.
And Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee, she's got a strong gun game. Strong gun game.
Now, she fucked up like 2 generations of people in her family. She can die. It's fine.
Fair.
But the cop can die. He sucks. Everybody can die in this movie. Fuck all of them.
I was half the time I was rooting for Michael Myers to just slash murder everybody.
Always, except for Julian. And I'm glad that he survived.
And that baby, when he walked by the baby, I was like, dude,
my God,
what are
the
they going to
baby.
do here? Because in the beginning, you have that kid and his dad in the pickup truck. And I think a lot of people were expecting that kid to get out alive because he was like on the edge of maybe 11, 12 age wise.
He was young.
Yeah,
he was a dancer.
He was a young dude, but he also did pick up a shotgun and walk around. And
If he spent more time hunting.
He also shot a guy.
yeah, and he did.
If he spent more time hunting than wanting to dance, maybe he wouldn't have shot the guy. Maybe he would have killed the...
Where's your trigger discipline, bro?
But yeah, Michael was not having that, and he just fucking strangled that kid. And I think that was the moment where everyone's like, okay, we're getting there. We're getting into this right now.
That's kind of where you realize, like, okay, he can kill these people. Maybe I'm in, but also those people deserve to die. They did stupid shit. That's where you lose me in a horror movie. We talked earlier about Hereditary. Nobody did anything there where you're like, oh, you're so fucking stupid. Nobody would do that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you lose me. Turning all the lights off and walking places where you're alone. That is the sign of truly stupid horror. And that tells me you're doing a bad job of storytelling and like you don't have anything better.
The worst death in this movie was Allison's cell phone.
Oof. And the pudding?
Why would you not get it out of the pudding?
Why would you do
her
that?
boyfriend
Jimmy?
deserved to die.
Like, okay, it's Halloween night.
Yeah, what happened to him? He kind of just fell off in that movie.
I thought he was going to die.
I think everyone thought he was going to die when he threw her fucking phone in the pudding. We were like, what the fuck, dude? That's tapioca pudding too. Why would you do that?
Well, they set him up as the biggest douchebag of the film. So you're like, okay, let's see this guy get, slaughtered. And that's like the last you see of him, which was...
It's true. I did forget about him.
But I read online that, so he's Lonnie's son from the original. And Lonnie is the one that bullies Tommy Doyle. So maybe they're setting it up for, because they always had 2 sequels in mind, I guess. So what if he plays a bigger part in a potential sequel because his dad is Lonnie, and one thing they didn't bring up was Tommy Doyle or that other girl from the original. I keep forgetting her name. I think it was Lindsay. And what happened to those two? They experienced the same shit Laurie did.
Yeah.
Where are they in the film?
That is sequel material. And the fact that she didn't get her phone out of the fucking pudding is the dumbest thing of all time. Yo,
if that was my iPhone,
blow the pudding off your phone. It's fucking, it's a
you don't
spoon.
have to put it in rice. It's pudding. If it was Punch, okay.
Yeah, Punch would have made more sense. Liquid, it murders the phone. Pudding is just...
And I would have gotten some to go. I don't know why she didn't.
Why was it putting on set where they just like, all right, we need Punch in this scene. Does anyone want to go to 7-Eleven and get some fucking Kool-Aid right now? No, dude, we actually got pudding fucking cups here, dude. It's like, all right, let's
They didn't want to go over the budget at Blumhouse, so they didn't want to actually ruin the $1,000 iPhone and go over.
I will say,
I was like, wait, pudding's more expensive. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you technically don't ruin a phone by throwing it in pudding. We're on to you, Blumhouse, you fuckers.
That's what I'm saying. Worst
peepees.
phone death of all time. Which, by the way, none of my homecoming or turnabout dances ever had pudding. Yeah. So
nobody had
South,
pudding.
You guys fucked up. Just letting you know.
Why would anybody have pudding at a fucking dance?
How fucked
It's
up do you have
Central
to
Illinois.
be
I don't know.
to eat pudding?
See, is
at
it
a
Central
dance?
Illinois? Where?
Yeah.
So I never understood where Haddonfield.
If it's not in Chicago, it's Southern Illinois. If it's anything other than
It is actually Central Illinois, though. Like, they reference the University of Illinois and a couple other things that are very Illinois.
So one thing about this movie that they did an excellent job with was the cinematographer capturing the atmosphere of Halloween.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the fucking park. Every other movie, I think H2O did sort of a good job, but the movie was trash, so you didn't really give a fuck. You were so hyped up about this movie and it being, like a direct sequel to the original. They did that tracking shot. That was fucking Halloween in a nutshell. They did a phenomenal job. And you don't think it'd be difficult to capture Halloween or like a fall atmosphere, but every other movie's fucking failed, in my opinion, except for this one.
Did you have any movies with any Michael Myers sequels where he was in a city setting, or is it always suburban, smaller town?
It was in California in H2O.
I don't want to count that movie.
Yeah. Like this movie, you can't have him in, let's say, Logan Square, Lincoln Park. People would just be like, oh my God, dude, your Michael Myers mask is so vintage.
The Chicago police would just shoot him on spot.
Yo, can I get a Snapchat with you?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the problem I have with this, is not knowing his motivation. In the past, they've at least kind of described it, and I just didn't get it. He just starts walking around murdering people.
You're not supposed to get it. He's pure evil.
I know his motivation. That fucking annoying ass reporter. That guy just pissed him off in the beginning. He's outside enjoying the nice, beautiful weather, and this guy has the audacity to come in there with his fucking mask, yelling at him for no reason. Just look at it, Michael.
Look at it.
Everyone else is freaking out, and he's just like, dude, I don't give a shit.
It's if you want me to go kill some motherfuckers, I will kill some motherfuckers. But get out of here,
bro. Now you're pissing me off.
That's fair.
When he steps across, he's right on. The doctor's like, "Don't do it. Don't step across that line." And he gets right there. You're like, "You dumb motherfucker! You're gonna get murdered."
Yeah, but fuck that doctor too.
Oh yeah, but dude, I would say that or the podcaster.
Yeah, we're podcasters. No, we're podcasters.
We're here
Everybody hates
investigating
podcasters.
a murder of Michael Myers who killed 4 people on the night of Halloween. No, his death was I thought was like the most brutal.
Yeah.
I was kind of shook when I was watching that.
That was one part where I was cringing because that was a elongated scene of his head.
How many times
smashed.
did he bash his head? It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like for a second I thought he might be able to make it out because he's alive, and then he pulls a Talia al Ghul from The Dark Knight Rises and just goes.
Yeah.
So that was your favorite death, though?
I would say so.
What about the
just
pumpkin
because
smash?
I wasn't.
That guy's head. He just
That was
stabs
good
on.
too.
I think my favorite was he pins the stoner against the wall and just like he knows, he pulls out his stud finder and figures out like where the wall can support this teenage kid. He's like, right here, and he stabs him through the neck.
Yeah.
He's like, he'll stay here.
I was happy the stoner kid wasn't just a pussy and just like, oh, I'm too high for this. I'm going to get out of here. He's like, I'm going to go see my girlfriend. And then he's just dead.
Okay, if there was a serial killer from 40 years ago in my hometown of Crystal Lake, right? Shout out Kelly.
You're from Crystal Lake?
Yeah.
Damn.
Jason.
Champ Crystal Lake?
Yeah, right. So let's say there was a serial killer in my hometown 40 years ago, and I'm really good friends with the victim's like niece, and then all of a sudden that fucker's back in the house that I'm in. Oh, I'm gonna be a hero and grab a butcher, and I fuck no, dude. I'm darting out of there.
Yo,
That
sorry.
makes no sense. Like you're not being a hero, you're being an idiot, and you're clearly not that high.
In his
Yeah.
defense, though, Michael Myers is old as shit at this point.
Yeah, but he
He's
also
got to be like 68, right?
He had to have had bad weed, and he was like, he couldn't have been that high.
Fucking
I agree.
peyote.
Yeah,
It's like, I can seriously take this guy. Guys.
Sell-
I could
Yeah.
murder
They do
anybody.
make the peyote reference.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Boom.
Hey, what'd you guys think of the scene where the motion sensor lights where her fat friend where he tried to kiss
He
her?
deserved to die. Everybody in this movie deserves to die except
Poor
for Julie.
kid. What does he say? He's like, I'm just horny.
I was just like, girls were grinding on my body, and I just like got horny from the drugs or the
The most
drinks.
useless death was definitely the dad.
He sucked, dude.
He
Fuck
did.
that guy.
The dick joke.
Fuck that guy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not a fan. He provided like that like uncomfortable like dad commentary joke, but it didn't sit well because you're like your wife has been through a lot of shit on this night, and you're just kind of like poking fun at it.
Oh yeah, like even the rats early on. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get those little bastards. I'm gonna kill you and your whole family." It's
You
like,
get a
all right,
small
man.
sense that they hate him too, because all right, I get they're in the midst of this super intense moment where Michael Myers is outside the door trying to break in, but at the same time, you realize your husband and your dad was just murdered, and they didn't at any point like, "Oh my God, Dad," or "Oh,"
Right.
They never even cried about it like in over a few seconds or anything. They just kind of forgot about it and went on with trying to defend
100%.
themselves against Michael Myers. That was another part I was like, okay, dude,
yeah,
your husband just got murked.
Well, it was so dumb that so you realize that when he was in the safety room, aka the trap, that he finds like the yo-yo.
Yeah.
And they literally go, Michael Myers has escaped. He clearly wants to fucking murder your wife's mother. And he's just like dilly-dallying like a
He's
fucking
hitting the baby cradle move with the yo-yo and shit. I'm just like,
He did crush it with that move though.
yeah.
He did.
Not
'cause-
I
bad.
was like,
Not
damn,
bad.
I'm trying to get a yo-yo and try that. I know how to do
Should we
that.
bring those back?
Maybe.
The yo-yos.
What were they, Dunkins or whatever?
Dunk. If you had a sick, like the glow in the dark ones,
Yeah.
like you got pussy.
The transparent green ones. Oh, those are kind of raw. Let's be honest.
We should do a show about Dunkin' yo-yos.
Yo-yos. This is Yo-Yo Cast.
No, but the fact that he did die, it had no weight to it because number one,
Exactly.
he didn't take any of it seriously. Just like but he was like he was a casualty of a classic like horror flick. It was like any other death that you'd come across.
Is someone in that tinted window? Who's in that car? Dude, you're fucked.
All right, well, let's talk about Michael Myers and the end of this movie. Obviously, he's not dead. If you stayed for the post-credits
But how?
scene, quote-unquote,
How?
he's
incinerated.
supernatural. That's the whole point. And that's the problem that I have with, at least in the past, like he was cursed and you kind of had a reason. So if they're not going to come out with this and let us know how he survived, I don't know, like
What do you think, Dennis, the expert here? How did he survive? Because we know he survived.
well, you know, if I really want to tap into Michael Myers' brain to understand his psyche,
there was a wet blanket in down there in the cellar.
Drop and roll.
They shouldn't have left the fire extinguisher in the basement. Fuck.
It's probably something silly like that, or he crawl out a fucking window. I mean, you would think that, like, hey, Lori, if you spent 40 years Michael Myers proofing the shit out of this place, like, there's no way he'll get out. And sure enough, there's gonna be something, or maybe there's another psychotic doctor that'll just take over the mantle. But
You know, I did kind of think at the end, you saw Allison, the granddaughter.
oh fuck, I
with
thought
the
that
knife.
too. Yeah,
Like, she could maybe go a little bit crazy having been put in this situation.
reminded me of Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4 and 5.
There you go.
But that, I think that was just more so a nod to, have you ever noticed in the original when Laurie Strode's in that closet?
You might as well look at me because neither of them have seen the
No,
original.
I've seen the. No, I
you guys
remember
fucking
this
kidding
part.
me?
No,
I think I've seen
I
the
do
original.
remember
I
this
don't
part.
care.
Okay, so in the original, when she's in the closet and then she and by the way, the attention to detail in this movie, like on his mask, you can see when in the original she pokes him with the hanger, and he's got like a hole in his neck, and then and then when she pokes him in the eye, his eye's all fucked up.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool how they I
He
guess
gets his fingers shut off and they don't just magically grow back.
exactly. Like they kept the continuity from the original, but in that specific scene, Michael is fuck. I forgot exactly where I was going with this.
Welcome to podcasting.
Fucking A.
His
Beats
eye
the
was
shit out
gone.
of
And
me.
his eye's gone and he
Surviving.
can't see better. Yo,
Um,
somebody stabbed Dennis's brain and he can't remember anything.
No, it had something to do with. Okay, so the original, so the room that she's in, where like the door, like comes down.
yes, yeah.
That is a exact replica of the original room from that night. Oh, I got it. The knife. So in the original scene in the 1978 movie, Laurie just drops the knife right next to Michael Myers, and then goes and like tells like the kids to like run away, and then Michael grabs the knife. The reason why I think Allison grabbed the knife was I'm not like my dumb grandmother and just left a butcher knife right next to this serial killer
True.
right after he just tried to fucking murder me. So maybe she's gripping it out of like fear, or maybe it is like an allude to Halloween 4 or 5.
It's a little harder to believe too. She would be going from a decent or good human being to a bad human being, and Michael Myers is just pure evil.
I think PC culture has ruined the Halloween movies. And now we got this goddamn hashtag me too. And now she's got to be a goddamn serial killer.
She's on Twitter just like, I'm on the loose, motherfuckers. I'm coming for you.
They did make a lot of
selfie.
they did make a lot of references to Jamie Lee Curtis being kind of the villain. Like as in she was in the beginning when she was talking to, or the daughter like didn't know that her grandma was coming to like the dinner. She just like, Jamie Lee Curtis was outside her window, just like being creepy at school.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the end, Jamie Lee Curtis was like down on the ground where she was supposed to be like, oh, I fell off a 2-story building. Now I'm kind
One of the
dead.
most overused horror scenes. Somebody in a classroom looking out the window, and it's super windy out with leaves blowing, and somebody's staring at them from the outside.
So that's the thing. This movie had a lot of Easter eggs, and some of them were like really, really good, and some of them were just really fucking bad. Why is Laurie standing outside of the high school
Super campy.
and it's this literally the same exact classroom, same exact poem. And actually the teacher, I was looking online, the
Nerd.
teacher that's like talking to the scene, it's PJ Souls who plays Linda totally in the original. But why the fuck would Laurie be standing out there just like creeping on her?
Because Hereditary did it, and now it's a thing in horror movies.
It's fucking stupid. Fuck that movie, Hereditary. I'm not going to see it.
You're going to see it.
You're going to watch it tonight.
You should see it.
No, hold strong. Fuck
All right.
Hereditary.
Any
Anyway.
final thoughts on Halloween before we move on to our recommendations?
When's Thanksgiving?
A month from now?
When's the sequel coming, Dennis?
No idea, but I do have a positives and negatives list. I'm going to run through real quick.
Go ahead.
Positives.
Go ahead.
Laurie is fucking Sarah Connor. Holy fuck. Michael Myers is the Terminator. Judy Greer and Andy, relationship, authentic. I wrote this, I kind of drunk, so bear with me. The Haddonfield vibes were on point. Dope. Parts of the score, which by the way, the theme only plays one fucking time, but
We should talk about that, though, because it is John Carpenter.
yep. The score when Andy's running down the street, or I keep calling her Allison, the character, when she's running down the street That score was fucking intimidating.
But that was it.
Yeah,
they didn't use it anywhere else.
Which is what irked the fuck out of me. That and then the original. They only used the original in like the tracking shot, and that's it. But the score overall I thought was pretty good, but it could have been better.
Yeah. I agree.
So the film needed more of the original theme. Yeah. The teens made zero impact. Michael killing the kid with the shotgun. Didn't know Michael killed kids. #dancer. I wish the sheriff had more screen time, which was cool because he actually apprehended him in the original, which when you look at like the trailers, the sheriff is alive when Michael is in the house with Laurie. So they clearly did a lot of third act, like readjusting and reshoots.
Yeah.
Some of the Easter eggs were a little too on the nose with the looking out the classroom.
Sure.
The best reaction though was when Michael pushes her off the balcony and Laurie disappears when he looks back.
That was pretty hilarious.
Like my fangirl inside me was like, oh my God, that's fucking sick. Laurie is lit. Here we go. The negatives. The film was too short, in my opinion.
Oh my God, you're kidding me. It was 20 minutes too long.
I was going to agree with Ryan on this one.
Either too short or they could have cut a lot of shit out to me. There wasn't enough Laurie and Michael and too much development of teens,
the families, problems, and all that.
I could have used more fucking Julian as opposed to the Dr. Certain, whatever his name was.
Look, the doctor.
That was the worst.
Julian was the redeeming quality of this film.
Oh yeah. My biggest pet peeve of the entire fucking movie, and that is who yells grandmother.
Oh my God, yes. Dude.
I thought I was the only person that noticed that.
That was brutal.
That pissed me off every single fucking time. I don't think I've ever referred to my grandma as grandmother.
No, you haven't, because you're not a sociopath.
Do you think that's it? They're alluding to
Little Riding
That is the
Hood.
only evidence you need to show you that Allison is going to be the next Michael Myers. She is clearly a serial killer. She was born in Wisconsin. Has to be. She's a fucking murderer.
She's a fucking cheese curd. That's what she is.
Who the hell calls someone grandmother?
Grandmother. Yeah, no, that was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
Also, another thing that one of my pet peeves was Vicky was super pigeon-toed, and I hate people who walk pigeon-toed. It pisses me off.
Wow.
Who's Vicky?
Yeah.
The babysitter.
Oh, really?
Yo, Vicky, you my favorite.
You wouldn't?
Fuck no, she walks like a fucking idiot.
You wouldn't.
When they were walking
You
down the
wouldn't
block, you're
fuck
just
Vicky?
like, fuck.
Yeah, you would. That's like saying you wouldn't fuck the daughter from Taken, even though she runs like she has a disability.
Oh, she runs so poorly. Oh my God.
I can't watch that movie because of how she runs.
You're like, go.
That's how I feel about Tom Cruise, but I'd still fuck him.
No
You
one
mean,
taught
you mean,
her how to run.
King Cruz?
Yeah.
King Cruz, yeah, TC.
TC, baby.
All right, so that wraps up our spoilers for Halloween. God damn it. Let's do our recommendations for the week. Dennis, you're our guest. Would you like to go first?
I would recommend Halloween, the original, to these two chumpsters. Is that your guys' nickname, or are you guys chumps?
Yeah, we do
Chumpsters.
chumps,
Just
man.
idiots.
These two chumpcasters. Watch the original and watch Halloween 2. I don't know. I want to know why.
Halloween 2.
I want to know why you hate Halloween 2 so much.
Because it's not good.
It's a slasher flick. It's not supposed to be an Oscar
The
nominee.
first one's good. Nothing.
No, it is. It is a good film.
Yeah, the first one.
He's not going to argue with you there. Yeah.
Wait, there's one before the one at the hospital?
No,
the hospital was
the
the
hospital's
original.
Halloween. No, the hospital's Halloween 2, the original direct sequel.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's more?
There's like 7
I'm
more.
kidding. All right.
Whatever, Mark.
Good
Do you have a
joke.
recommendation?
Flop. I do. Fight World. It's more of a recommendation for you,
Fight
Smithers.
World.
No, it's a
I did start
documentary
watching this.
on Netflix. It's actually one of the trending series, which I'm unfortunately one of those people that it's like, I don't know what the fuck to watch. So I go to what's trending and I usually pick something out.
Even though there's a billion things to watch.
That's the
on
problem.
every
Office
platform.
5 times
Yeah.
over.
That, that too. Obviously, it's about fighting. It's not necessarily about fighters. So they go, hence Fight World, to different parts of the world where fighting is huge in the culture and society. So you have like Thailand, Mexico, obviously boxing, all that kind of stuff. But each episode is a different part of the world and going into their fighting culture and how it impacts everyone there in whatever part of the world they're doing the episode on. But it's been pretty good so far. I'm on episode 3 right now. I think if you're into MMA or boxing or any type of fighting, you'd have some interest in the show. So check it out. It's on Netflix.
I wanted to add an addendum to this. This is not the first show of this kind. because there was one on, I think, Discovery Channel about a decade ago that did the same sort of thing. And it's how I learned about Hapkido and a couple other martial arts. If anybody out there remembers the name of that show, please tell me, because I would love to find it and rewatch it. It was really good. Brick, do you have a recommendation?
It came out probably maybe a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. Joe Rogan's new stand-up, Strange Times, is actually hilarious. It's on Netflix. He really tackles a lot of issues in a hilarious fashion. Check it out. Actually worth watching. I've seen it twice already.
We're all still firmly on the Joe Rogan train, right?
Oh yeah, I love that, man.
We knocked
Yeah.
it on him.
Do you still listen to his podcast?
Yes.
I just heard the Roseanne one. It wasn't awesome.
But like
I
every
didn't listen to that
episode?
one.
No, not every episode.
A lot of them I do.
What is your favorite Rogan podcast?
Ooh.
Ooh.
The ones he does with Neil deGrasse Tyson are really good.
My favorite is the one with Tom DeLonge from Blink-182.
Dude, that's a great one. That is a great one. If you're
just watching Tom DeLonge like spew this bullshit, and Joe Rogan has to get like even more baked just to handle like the shit that he's saying.
The aliens.
there was something like where Tom DeLonge said something and Joe Rogan quickly shut him down, but supposedly a couple of weeks later it was actually valid. And people were like, yo, you shit on Tom DeLonge, but he actually told the truth.
I would love
at
to
this
know
part.
the story.
Dude, he said he was like he worked for the FBI and was like the median between the public and like the FBI and shit.
So we're going to space, man.
Christ.
Where are you?
Yeah, but
I'm so sorry.
I can only listen to like one Joe Rogan episode every 2 or 3 weeks.
The David Goggins one is unbelievable.
Walton Goggins?
David Goggins.
Awesome.
He's the U.S. Marine guy that went through Bud's training like 3 times or whatever, and he's an ultra marathon runner.
Good.
Unbelievable. This guy's stories. Holy shit. But okay.
My recommendation for the week is The Haunting of Hill House, which came out on Netflix last Friday. I am 9 episodes into this. I'm fucking hooked. And honestly, had I not been on a plane for the majority of the last like 2 weeks, I probably wouldn't have gotten into this. But Netflix's download function is awesome.
So clutch.
So clutch.
Oh, yeah.
It's bullshit that all streaming services don't do this.
DC Universe does.
It does, except for the
Fuck
actual
Batman.
movies.
Yes.
You can't download The Dark Knight.
I did notice
cried.
that.
Oh, that's weak. And also the content sucks too. So, you know.
No, Titans is pretty good
Actually,
so far,
Titans is
dude.
okay.
I have not watched a single episode of Titans yet.
Episode 2 came out on Friday. Fucking unreal. It's pretty
Stop
good.
interrupting my segment.
Keep going, dude.
The Haunting of Hill House is
spooky.
very good, and I think it might be the topic for our show next week. This is brilliant storytelling, awesome cinematography. I can't really get too deep into it without ruining it, but if we're going to review it, man, the way that the non-linear storytelling happens, the way that they circle back and explain things and change the way that you look at certain characters and their interactions is genius. And I know this is a retelling, but there's no way that the original was this good. This is brilliant filmmaking.
Intriguing.
Let's check it out then. Well, I'll check it out. You're already watching it.
So hopefully for everybody out there, you're going to check this out, and maybe we'll talk about this next week. But that's going to wrap up episode 114 of the Chumpcast. So, Dennis, first of all, thank you for coming in.
Yep.
Do you have social media that you would like to plug?
Yeah, so what's up, Chumpsters? I started a little side hustle to make some more money as a photographer here. So if you want to hit me up on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Denis Baharovich. That's B as in boy, EHAROV as in Victor, IC photography. Book me for your next family shoot. If you have a newborn, hit me up. I'm really great. I got awesome props. And thank you so much for having me, Chumpsters.
Love the voice change right there, too.
Absolutely.
Super ad sound. Yep.
Do you do professional dick pics?
You know, not of my own, because number one, I don't want to scare people of how small it is. But I do, and I will. It is $75 per shot. Post-processing, $75 with post-processing included.
I got you. Okay.
It's a good deal.
I think so too, Brick. Hit me
So
up.
as always, you can find us on all social media at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. I guess until next time.
Chumps out, motherfuckers! Yo, isn't that the Jason?